Hello, I'm Michelle Fontaine from Rolling On TV, and this is Inside Access, where we bring you pros and experts who you care about from various businesses important to you. On today's Inside Access, we bring you CPG, Creative Products Group, and the market leader for RV keying systems. Did you know that 80% of RVs share the same compartment key? So if you're in a campground, somebody could literally come over and open your compartments. You're going to learn more about that and other interesting facts in this hour. Before we bring up our guests from CPG, a few things. Please comment in the Facebook comment area. Ask your questions, comment, and there's a reason for that, other than wanting your questions. Number two, please share to your timeline, group, pages. Help us spread the good news. And three, at the end of this hour, we're going to pick a winner. And that winner is going to get an RV keying system specific to his RV. And the way we're going to pick out that winner is by your questions and comments so we can see your name. And you have to be on the show at the hour, at the end of the hour, to acknowledge that you won. Okay? So, without further ado, I'm going to bring up Jose Moni, executive producer of Rolling On TV, to kick us off. Hey, Joe.
Hello, Michelle.
And I'm also going to bring up, let me just bring me down, and I'm also going to bring up right now Chris and David of CPG.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Joe, tell us about your visit to CPG.
Well, I was just going to say, it's good seeing them again. I just happened to be down there visiting them last week. And even though we've communicated for a while, it was really great. I finally seen their facility, and I'll tell you, I was very impressed. It has to be one of the cleanest, smoothest running operations I've seen in years. And besides that, it's huge. I cannot believe all the inventory they have in this facility. So, guys, it's great working with you. And I'm looking forward to another visit there so I can see some other areas of your plant there. So, it's amazing to believe that you have so many keys and so many locks. I mean, it's unfathomable to think there's that many out there.
There is. The amount of keys we have does overwhelm us also. So it's pretty amazing.
Now, Joe, the reason you were there is to create a feature story. And that feature story aired on show 12, I believe. Is that correct?
It did. It's up on our website now, Michelle.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Under the past shows, you can see the feature story of the CPG visit.
Yeah, actually on the homepage now, it says current show airing.
That's right. You're right.
Give you a good idea of what we're talking about as far as the facility and actually seeing what we're going to, be talking about today. I tell you, it's an interesting subject, Chris and Dave, when you think about it. I mean, it's like a common item, a key. Everybody has a key for something. But the fact that the situation with RVs being as it is, that so many people have the same keys for their compartment locks, that's a mind blower. I mean, I don't know how many people realize that.
Yeah, that's a pretty
secret that's been
one.
kept really good. Yeah.
Well, Joe, let me take you down and bring our co-host up for the evening.
Okay.
Thank you. And now I want to bring up Jeff Johnston, who is our associate producer for Rolling On TV. And he's also got, I think, 30 years of tech writing for Trailer Life and Motorhome Magazine. So he knows his stuff. Right, Jeff?
Too, anyway.
So I'm going to try to show a little video that really will say it all. And before I do that, I need to mute you so we can make sure it plays right. So let me mute you for a second. And
includes the key RV storage compartment. Over half the RV owners around you have the same key. Maybe that's not such a good thing. Global Link has the solution. Find out more at rollingontv.com.
Yeah. Great video, Jeff.
Well, I couldn't get my usual actor, so I had to stand in this time.
Turned out great.
Well, we do, and we hear that exact comment from probably 20, 30 people a day here at our place. So
Wow.
It's a very common conversation for us.
Well, and it seems to really take people by surprise when they learn about these CH751s. When did these guys first make their appearance on the RV industry? How many years ago has that been? I know
I'm not sure.
I started in '85, and I know they were widespread back then. But
my personal one on my personal key ring started in '73.
Wow.
So it's been around at least that long. So
Wow.
you can't even read the 751 on it anymore.
Because of my job at Trailer Life, I've been in and out of a lot of RVs and a lot of campgrounds over the years. And my original aluminum 751 finally wore out, and I had to replace it with a steel one. But it was always amusing to me in a campground when you'd see somebody maybe with a new RV, maybe an existing one, struggling with the door with their key. And I would walk over, and I always made it a point of pulling my key ring out of my pocket, saying, let me see if I can help you with that. Put my key in there, push on the door a little bit to compress the seal so you can move the tab and open it up. So there you go. And they're usually standing there looking with their eyes like this, like, why does your key open my compartment? I said, well, both of our keys will open most of the compartments in this campground. So it's just the way they are. And the people are invariably kind of surprised to learn that.
Yeah, and it carries forward from the 751. Every lock manufacturer in the RV industry is required to have a generic key. It's normally used on non-entry door units, so toy haulers, the back bar locks, any compartment door, even the slam latches, the big black slam latches, have a generic key in them. You know, every company has one. We have one as global. It's a gray G391 key is our generic. So everyone has a generic.
When you say generic key, you mean a pass key? I mean, like this is a pass key for the entry door.
Not quite. A master key or a pass key fits every single lock from that company, where our generic one is a G391, a gray key. It's a key coded G391, but that means a lot of the locks that we send out to OEMs to put on comes with this gray key on it, which is our generic. 751s were the generic key probably until the last 10 years when a bunch of the rest of us started putting them out there as well. So there's a lot of different ones. South Code Company, which a lot of the slam locks on fifth wheels are from South Code. That's an R001 key. So I don't want everyone just to get hung up just on 751s. There's a handful of generics that everyone needs to know about.
Well, over the years, we've had a few alternatives to the 751 come along. One company, quite a few years ago, developed a code lock, like with three little wheels that you would dial to a code number and then twist it. And I don't know if those are still on the market or not, but it seems like all of these alternatives that get you out of that whole everybody has your key loop, they just haven't taken off much in the industry. But you guys have something that I understand is going to more or less cover that.
It is, and that's where we picked up on that, and all of those are good options just to get out of the generic side, and that's what we tell everyone, just get away from generic keys. Our biggest thing that we want to do is to replace the 751 lock on the cam locks, on the small cam locks, with a new cam lock. It'll look identical, but the thing we have the opportunity to do is to take that cylinder out, or if it's a global lock already, a consumer can take that cylinder out and match their purple key that goes to their entry door. So now you can actually key the unit alike with one key on your key ring, which if you've ever, I always make fun, I'm that guy that backs in my RV late at night and I'm fumbling with keys trying to figure out which one fits everything. So if you only have one key on the key ring that fits everything, it makes it easy to figure out which key you need.
Boy, yeah, that sounds fairly convenient.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay.
So that one key you're talking about will also fit in the compartment locks?
It will. It'll fit
The
every
G391.
Yeah. So your
Yeah.
your door lock and your compartment lock, everything, one key.
one key.
Yes.
We can change all the cylinders or locks to match where one key on your key ring
Right.
fits. And I'm going to turn you a little bit, so I apologize for that. Will fit any of these locks. So, and it's a convenience thing on top of a security thing. So,
We've got some questions. Let me
Okay.
just
Awesome.
yeah, hello to Elizabeth Stafford, Carol Jean, Marie DaCosta, Elizabeth Stafford again, Marie DaCosta. They want to be on the Mike Korn. Hi, Mike. Let me show this comment. I have a 2018 Jayco travel trailer and was told by the dealer that Jayco has close to 100 different keys that they install on the keyed alike model. Is that an accurate statement?
that is accurate. Jayco uses most of the Jayco units come with a company called Bauer, B-A-U-E-R, locks. And Jayco uses them to key their units the same. And those are secure keys. So there's, I think they're using two different series of codes. So a 300 series and a 700 series, which each has 60 codes. So there's 120 different options there.
I think they're just
units.
using the 700 series on the Jayco key alike units, or there's a 900 series that they did specifically for Jayco. So, yeah, those are probably pretty secure.
So that narrows it down to 60 different units. So it's a pretty secure system.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means only 10 other campers in the campground could get into your right?
And they have to be at the right place at the right time.
Rose Wright is on. Rose is the winner of our first Supernovo. Hi, Rose.
Oh,
Very
congratulations.
cool.
And looks like Jason has joined us. Howdy, Jason.
Yep. Can you match the existing entry key I have to the 751 barrel lock replacement? Oh.
It depends on what your existing entrance lock key is. If it's one of our Global Link keys, and that's easy to pick out because it's one of those purple keys that Chris was showing earlier. If it's one of those purple keys, then all you have to do is figure out what length of barrel that you have. And what you measure is just right here. I don't know if you can see that. This outside part where it comes in contact with the outside of the door down to where this little arm swings. And then we just pull these little red thumb turns out. And then we can install one of the keys to match one of those Global Link locks.
Cool. So you're the only guys with the purple keys.
We are the only
ones
purple
with
key
the
so
purple
far.
keys. Yes.
That makes things easy. And Marie, Marie DaCosta, she was saying she has a hard time opening her compartment door. The lock is junk, and they have a CH 751.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, anytime you have any kind of key like that that's going down the road, there's a lot of crud and things that get inside them. So, I mean, even on those, we still recommend just some routine yearly maintenance, like cleaning them out with some WD-40, and then after you clean it out real good, then shoot some white lithium grease in there. That usually lubricates everything pretty good and keeps them moving pretty freely.
When you say white lithium, you say shoot white lithium grease. Most of the lithium grease I've seen is been in a tub or a toothpaste tube. Is there an aerosol with the thin applicator tube available?
I am sure there is. I'm not sure, Chris. Have you seen that? I usually use just like a tube myself.
Just about every automotive store has an aerosol version of a white lithium.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of people use a dry lube now, which is a Teflon, which even helps more because it doesn't attract the dust and the dirt like a grease or a WD-40 does also.
And would the dry lubes that are based on graphite work as well?
They will.
Okay.
They will. Graphite's always a great one. If you can find some graphite, that's even better.
Yeah, so the dry lubes are good, but just to avoid things that are going to remain oily and attract dirt and crud.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
So, And one of the other things, just talking while we were talking about security a little bit, when we look at a 751 key, and I'm sorry you probably can't see real good with what I'm trying to show you. A 751 key is what we call a single cut key. So one side of it's cut, one side of it's flat. All of our global keys are double cut, which makes it just a little more secure. For those who have worked with locks, it means the tumblers have to move a certain direction, and it gives it just a little bit more security. So the double cut keys are better than a single cut key.
All right, here's a question. How can we get the key-alike system? Do you sell them direct to consumers?
We always ask that you check with your dealership. The dealerships can certainly get everything you need and can do the work for you. But we do know that that's tough right now, especially with a lot of labor times and service schedules. RV Locks and More, www, and this is a shortcut, www.rvlam.com. So it's Romeo, Victor, Lima, Alpha, Mike.com.
I'll remember that.
Takes you to RV Locks and More. And if you go to RV Locks and More, and you can go to the key alike section, there's a menu bar that says key alike, your RV key alike system, and it shows a video. David's is our spokesperson, and it shows a nice video that shows how that works. And then it gives you the option to rent a change key, which I'm going to ask David to show you this process real quick. But the change key doesn't. The yellow change key doesn't lock or unlock anything. The lock has to be unlocked and in a certain position, but then that change key pulls the cylinder out. You simply put a new cylinder back in, which you buy off the online system, and you can match them all and pick the numbers between 301 and 390, and then you can key it all alike. So yes, you can do it directly from and on the rental key, on the change key, we charge you $50 on the online system. And then when you return the change key to us, we refund you 40 of it. The whole idea is just so that you send me my change key back. So, David, if you got 1 minute to show a quick process of putting one in.
Okay, and this one I'll show you on just one of our entrance locks. And the biggest thing we have for entrance locks when people do this, you'll have like a unit that has a front door and a back door. And you'll notice on all of those, when they get shipped to the manufacturer, the locks are already installed. So they don't take the time to match up any kind of key codes or anything like that. So you have a front door and a back door that's always keyed differently. So with this system, you can purchase just this, or you can rent this yellow change key, and then you actually purchase that you can pull out of your current TTL, and then you can match up either your front door or your back door. And the codes are always either found like right here etched into this purple, the metal in the fob. I don't know, my lighting's kind of horrible there. You can't really see it.
Yeah.
Or it'll be, if it's pretty new, they'll be right here. Or if you take this apart, there's another little sticker right on the inside there that has the key code on it too. So you'll just pick either one of those codes. And then with this yellow change key, as long as this, and you can probably see this a little bit better in our YouTube video, all the close-ups are a little bit better.
Right.
But the cylinders have to be unlocked. So if you have one of these and you happen to walk up to somebody in a campground and you think, oh, I'm going to pull the cylinder out and try to get inside, you can only pull these cylinders out if these cylinders are unlocked. So when it's unlocked, you just insert the key just like that. It pops out, and then you have your replacement. You have to make sure there's a few things you have lined up, which you can see in the video, and we've got a couple other like PDF documents that walk you through it too. But you just go in, there's a little retaining wafer down on the bottom. You just kind of angle it, slide it in, and just like that. So it's a really easy process. Anybody can do it.
So you're saying people can't steal, they can't go up with it and take those cylinders out because the owner has to have unlocked it.
Yeah,
Correct.
Because we don't want somebody, if somebody walks away and locks their unit up, we don't want somebody that has one of these keys to walk up and just be able to unlock and pull out the cylinder. So this only works if it's in the unlocked position.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Jeff, what kind of locks you got on your new camper?
Actually,
Where's your keys?
Are they purple?
Actually, the main camper door is the little purple keys.
And there you go.
Oh, but we don't have. There's very few compartments outside, but there are a few other keys that that are related to the whole project. But we've only had the camper for a week now, so have not
What
had
kind
a
of
lot
camper
of
did you get?
Pardon? Oh, it's
What'd you get?
a Palomino fold down.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Nice.
We have a few more questions waiting for us.
And
Okay.
I have a
Oh, go ahead.
question while I'm thinking of it.
Yeah.
People are talking about replacing what they've already got. Is there any point of backward compatibility? You know, like campers or RVs before a certain age aren't compatible, and they are after that point, or is it as long as they have that key?
As long as it's a global lock.
Hmm.
Global's been making these since 2004, I believe.
What
So as long
keys?
as it's a global branded lock, the cylinders will work in it,
Oh, okay.
no matter what the
And-
age. And all of our global locks use the exact same size cylinder, so we don't have to know how
Okay.
long the lock is or how short it is.
Okay.
It's all the same.
And I'll also like to add to that, the Global Link has been around since about 2010. So anything before that probably will not have one of the Global Link locks on it. But there's a couple other companies out there that created a travel trailer entrance lock too, like FIC and Trimark. But this one they've used this same size cutout for many years, probably since the 80s. So if you have one that has the same type of cutout, this will replace, like this whole lock assembly will replace a lot of other locks out there too, that you'd still be able to accomplish the same thing. Right?
David has a video on YouTube showing the installation of a lock like that. And I was so amazed at how simple it looked to do,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
So,
Simple
when
screws.
you walk up, there's 4 screws on the back plate, and then
Yep.
on the edge of the door, there's a little door edge cover that's right here too. So and then it pulls apart, 2 pieces that comes out. You just put it right back in the exact same way.
so yeah, take a look at that video, guys. It's how do we find that video? It's under RV Locks and More. Or what is it under on YouTube? Do you remember?
It is.
I think it's cpgbrands.com or creativeproductsgroup.com. I think I can probably get Corey to
is it
post
actually
that in the
on?
comments over here.
Oh yes, okay. David Gingerich is actually commenting in the comment field. He's not David on the thing. He's cloned himself just for this thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
All right,
there it is right there.
Yeah. All right, great. Elizabeth asks, let me see if I can pop this up. We have most Bear locks, but 7 of our locks are generic, and they happen to be on very important openings. How do you say it?
Bauer.
Bauer.
Locks are also different than the main door entry. Sounds like a key-like system would be good for her.
This would definitely be a good situation for that. Unfortunately, if you have Bauer locks, what we're going to ask you to do is to change the locks over to global locks. And depending on there's a lot of different locks, so we would have to know some specifics. But you can change those over to global locks, and we can key them alike before we send them to you. Or you can change the locks yourselves and get them locally, as long as you're putting a global in. And then we can just do the key alike program where we send you cylinders to key it back.
Right.
But
And I'd also
if you have these questions like this, though, feel free at any time. We'll put some phone numbers up where you can call us, and we can walk you through. And a lot of times we'll ask you for a picture of a lock to identify it, to make sure we can replace it.
I know one of the things Jose was impressed about was your customer service at your place. So,
Well, thanks. We
Yeah.
we pride ourselves on it.
yes,
Yes, we do.
easy to talk to a person and figure out what you need too. Marie writes, thanks for the answer. The cylinder definitely needs to be changed. Is it easy or hard to put in?
Super easy. We've
very
talked people
easy,
through it over the phone. It was as easy as David showed you just right there.
Yeah.
It literally just takes minutes.
And if there's something that's making it that it's not, it's either one or 2 things that is off or misaligned, that we'll be able to walk you through or actually tell you what it is. And it's a very easy process. So I can do it. Anybody can do it.
Okay. So Carol Jean wrote, and the other David, who is really Corey, already answered this. Do you have locks for sliding glass entry doors? And no, you do not.
Unfortunately, we don't.
Right.
Develop anything for that.
Okay. All right. Oh, and Marie wants pink keys. Can we accommodate
Yeah, I
Marie?
saw that. I could probably spray paint a couple for you. Just let me know.
Oh, here's a good question from Gary Phelps. Thank you, Gary. I have a Winnebago, Itasca, Cambria. I have a double-sided key with 4 number digits. Does Winnebago make keys that fit other RVs or motorhomes?
Chances are on the Winnebago Itasca line, chances are you have a Trimark branded lock. On the motorized units, Global is just now getting into the motorized units. The difference is a towable unit doesn't have to be federal motor vehicle standard because nobody rides in it, so the door just has to be shut and a plunger works just fine. Where on a motorized unit, it's got to have a double action rotary latch. We are getting into that lock effectively right now. Actually, this year we just entered into that, but we don't have any available yet for that lock.
Mm-hmm.
The 4-digit key, those are Trimark. It's usually a TM branded lock. And so we wouldn't be able to key that one alike, but Winnebago might be able to help you out there.
Okay. Gary Phelps. Boy, I love having so many questions come in. This is great, guys. Great. I see that RV Bluetooth locks are made only for trailers and fifth wheels. When will one be made for motorhomes? I think you kind of just covered that.
We did, and we do have, with the motorized lock we're doing, we are working on a key code. We'll do a keyless version first, which we're hoping to have that out by the end of the year. And then following the keyless version, the Bluetooth version will follow that. So that's just kind of the steps we take to bring the locks in. But the keyless we're hoping to have by the end of this year, the Bluetooth probably early next year.
Okay.
If all goes well, knock on wood.
If all goes well, get vaccinated. So with the keyless lock, let me show this. Let me bring this up here.
Okay.
With the keyless lock, so when you get it, it is easy to put on. It comes with a code already programmed in it.
It does come with a pre-coded, a default code is what it's called. And every lock has its own default. They all have a different default code. A lot of people think it's a generic code that everybody gets the same one. So it's pretty secure. One thing I'd like to talk about, I know the picture doesn't show it very well, but this is our keyless lock. And a lot of people see this on a dealer's shelf or see it on our website and they think that's not my lock. It's just too big. But the big point is that it does fit in the exact same cutout hole as the old lock.
It does.
This larger lock fits in that same 3 by 4.5 inch hole. The reason we made it so big is because we actually wanted to put a handle in it so that you can put your hand in it and open it instead of the little 3-finger pull. And to do that, we needed a pivot area, and that's why the lock looks bigger.
Okay, so you got the code, and you choose your own code after that. When you receive it, do you put another code in? Yes.
It definitely is an option. You can reprogram it, and the default code always stays in that lock in case you ever forget your code or you sell the unit and you don't give the new buyer the code. We can always have them take the plate off and find that code, and then they can reprogram it to whatever number they'd like.
Okay, so it's not like really simple. There's a little bit of work to change the code, right?
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Not
if
too
you'd like,
bad.
we could run through one real quick if you'd like.
Well, no, I don't think so. But I'm just envisioning, drunks around a campground saying, "Hey, my code is no."
Right. Oh, right.
And then realize
it's a pretty quick process. It's pretty easy to do. So.
Okay, good. Now, if you forget the code and the default code, can you use a key?
Yes, we saw that comment there from Mike. Yes, the key will always override the keyless entry function.
Okay.
And when you're actually keying that, it actually only locks that bottom lock there, and it doesn't do the one on top of the handle. It just does the one that would operate the deadbolt. And show them that new deadbolt feature, Chris.
Okay, one of the things that's different is most of the people are used to having, when they lock their deadbolt, they're used to having a shaft of metal come out here, which is their deadbolt lock. On our new designed lock, we made that an internal function on this lock, so that when you normally this is flexible and open and close. When you lock the deadbolt, this becomes your deadbolt lock now.
Mm-hmm.
It's one less piece of metal moving in and out of the door. And I tell the story, it's always easy to lock and unlock a deadbolt when you're sitting nice and level. But once you hook up and you pull out and you're at the gas station and you want to run in and get some cookies, it's not level anymore. And now that little deadbolt oftentimes gets jammed up in the door frame, and it's like pulling a tooth to turn it. With this system, there's never any stress on that deadbolt, so it makes it a much easier system to lock and unlock on the deadbolt lock.
Exactly.
Excellent. Excellent. If somebody's buying an RV and they want to have the keying system done at the dealer, what do they ask? What do they need to ask for at the dealership?
One thing at this point, and all of the dealers know about keying alike, and it's becoming more and more common. They can ask when they're doing their purchasing, they can ask that it be added. It could require some additional labor. It could require a pricing difference. It's not horrible, but there is that option because they may have to replace some locks. But if you ask for the dealership to key it alike before you take delivery, that could certainly be put into any agreement to where a dealership could take care of it. Also, if you already have purchased it, most of the dealerships are aware of this system. And we work with all the RV dealerships through a network of sales personnel and sales representatives across the country and in Canada. So the cylinders and the keys are available so that dealers can rekey at any point.
Okay. Well, we are at the half-hour mark already. And I just want to remind everyone that in about 30 minutes, we're going to pick a winner from the people who are online. I can see we've got some previous winners on there too. They're getting how this works. I'm not going to miss an inside access. There's usually a good something or other at the end. And that will be an RV keying system specific to their RV. So,
and that keying system, Michelle, just so that everybody knows, it's going to be one of these locks. And then it'll also be, if they have replacement locks or if they have global locks, it'll be cylinders and change key, and it'll be everything they need to have a one key system when we're done.
Oh, that would be nice. That'd be nice. So, you were talking to me when we did the practice, Chris. You were mentioning how when an RV has two entry doors and two locks, different keys, yeah.
Yep.
That often when the keys get broken, it's because of that.
Yeah, one of the most common factors, especially on the bunkhouse type units that have two entry doors, a back one usually goes into a bathroom or into a back bedroom. The front one is into the living area. When they're manufactured, the door manufacturers put the locks in, not the actual manufacturer of the motorhome or travel trailer. So they put those doors on. They don't look to see what the key codes are. So now if you have two purple keys on your key ring, like this, and they're two different numbers, they'll both fit into the key just fine. What we have a lot of times, though, is a customer will forget that there's two different keys. They'll put one in, and they're trying to unlock it, and they just think it's just a little sticky, so they force it. And when they force it, if it's the key to the back door and they're at the front door, that's when the most common reason they break a key off in that lock. So if they could change those keys, again, the one key system stops that whole situation of having to fumble with your key ring to figure out what key you need this time.
Great. Hey, could I ask the clone David in the audience, Corey, could you find that video of David's installation? Because that was really good, and pop it up as a link in the comment field. That would be great. Not you, David, on screen. This is David in the audience.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we do have a full system of YouTube videos. If anyone wants to go out to YouTube, I know it's a very common way to find information these days. We have Creative Product Group has a plethora of videos out there on things like finding default codes, installing locks, rekeying. So there's a lot of things out there that we show that we can do and what's available.
So just so people understand, Global Link. And then tell me the relationship between Global Link, CPG, and RV Locks and More.
We are all one big happy company. Our owners of the company wanted to make sure that each market that we entered into was specific. So Global Link services the manufacturers, the OEM business. They're the tier 1 supplier to the OEMs. Creative Products Group is a division of Global Link, and we take care of all of the aftermarket sales, and which goes to the dealerships and the e-commerce folks out there. And then RV Locks and More is our e-commerce site. If someone just can't find it anywhere, we can take them to the RV Locks and More site and sell it directly to a customer. That way we know it's available no matter what.
That's you covered all the bases. And is it true that you have about 80% of the keying market?
The last time we actually checked market share, which was late last year, on the towable market, we had about 80% of the total towable market on entry doors, which is the most, that's the important one. That's the key we usually try to match. So
that's very impressive.
There's a really good chance that if you've got a towable RV made in the last 10 years, it's got a global lock on it.
Great. Jeff, got any key stories for us?
So this this purple key that I have is the one that you can replace, and I believe these little black keys that I have are. I'm not sure if these are 751s. There's no numbers on them, but there's.
Do they?
Pardon?
Is there any number at all or any idea at all?
No,
those are 751 keys. Believe it or not.
Oh, okay. I haven't compared it to.
Those came from. There's a company called Valterra Products that put out a bunch of hatches, exterior showers and hatches, and that's their version of it. That is their 751 key.
Okay, and your system will also replace these guys?
We have a lock that'll pop in. Most of those are snap-in cam locks, and we do have a replacement for it.
And the camper, I regret being. I've had it only for a week, and I'm really kind of just getting around to learning more about it. But it also has these gray keys like this.
Okay.
And
that's and on the gray keys, that's a G391. That's our generic key.
Oh, okay.
Global. So that one, on those, all we would need to do is send you cylinders to replace the cylinders in that lock. You don't have to change those locks.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And we made that gray, just so that everyone knows. The only reason we made it gray is so that it would stand out from the purple ones. The whole idea is that if you walk into me or David at a trade show or at a rally, and you have a gray and a purple key on your key ring, we automatically know that all we need on these gray ones are cylinders to replace it. That's why we did that.
Yep.
But what does the gray do typically on an RV like mine? I mean,
that would just be the baggage doors.
Okay.
Yep, compartment doors, or exterior, or a bar lock. If you had a toy hauler, it might be a bar lock.
Yeah,
it really just depends on what company is installing them, because some use purple keys on those, some use that gray key. But on our baggage doors, everything right now standard, sent to the dealerships or to the manufacturers, are all G391 unless they are on one of our key to like units at the factory.
Yeah,
and that little black key, we have these for it. They're just these little snap-in cam locks, so you could actually replace that entire cam lock for one of these snap-in ones as well, because that was probably for on your shower box. I
think so. Yeah.
It's most common.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we haven't. We basically picked it up. What day is today? Tuesday. We picked it up a week ago Thursday, and been out in it for about 8 nights. Came back from Indiana, drove back to Oregon just a couple days ago, and like I say, we're kind of, just figuring out everything about it.
Can't you tell? Jeff's got the new RV glow going.
Had we known you were in Indiana, we would have just had to stop by and taken care of that.
We'll be back out there. We're coming out for the open house again, so we'll talk.
Great. We'll have to plan a visit for sure. Hey,
well,
I see
Michelle,
a question from. There was a question from Jason about hitch locks.
Yeah.
There
you go.
The one thing about, we have looked into it. It's not easy. The hardest part about it is most of the hitch locks have a 5/8 deep cylinder in them. And for us to do it, we'd have to retool the pins, the hitch pins themselves to accept our 7/8 inch long one. But we have looked into it. It's on a planner somewhere, but it's not on the short list.
When you think about what we put in our compartments now versus what used to be put in compartments, it really is such a big deal that nobody else can. And I hate to say it, but thefts really seem to be on the rise.
Well,
right?
Let's talk about some of those fun things. I always say, I'm obviously with my lack of gray hair. I'm an old guy, but I tell everyone in the old days, all we kept in there was dirty laundry, firewood, and beer. So sharing was not a big deal. But nowadays a lot of times you have $1,000 lithium battery or a $1,500 satellite dish. Even sewer hoses and electrical cords are now multiple $100s. So it's not as easy. One of the things we do talk about, though, is even though everyone knows an RV, if you really want in one, it's an RV. You can break into it. But if you find a thief, most thieves go the easy way out. So if a thief has a master key or a 751 key, for instance, if he walks up to yours and it doesn't take a 751 and someone else's RV is next to him with a 751, he doesn't mess with breaking into yours. He goes over to the one that's simple and takes it. And as much as I hate to have someone break into the guy next to me, that's just another reason to go away from the generics.
Very good point by Elizabeth, especially when you're full time. When you've got really important stuff on with you, then don't you?
Yeah, well, you got a lot of memories. I run into a lot of full timers that have photo albums and videos and stuff like that, family stuff in their compartments, and we run into a lot of photos. Oh, one other thing we'd like to talk about, talking about security. One of the things on your entry door lock, and I'm backwards here, but your top lock on your entry door lock is always mastered. It's got a little M stamped in it usually, and that means a technician who has a master key can unlock that lock. The deadbolts are not mastered, so a master key won't work in a deadbolt. A lot of folks, because of that security, a lot of people who keep more secure stuff in their compartments are also rekeying it to a non-mastered cylinder so that a master key also won't work on it. It runs into a problem when you take your unit in for service. You need to make sure and tell the service department that you have non-mastered locks so that they take your keys. But otherwise, there's just another layer of security that keeps people from being able to open your doors rather than breaking in.
Right. They're going to go after the easy opportunities. Right.
In your experience, we always hear about people breaking into RVs. How often do you hear about that? People contacting you and saying, I got to do something about my locks because somebody broke in and stole our leveling blocks or whatever it is.
Well,
is that something that we're really worried about because it's standard thing to worry about today, or does it really happen that often?
What I've seen, it's not so much in campgrounds as that kind of stuff happens, because everybody in campgrounds are usually there for the same reason. Everybody's there to have a good time and just enjoy the campground. What we've seen, or I don't know, maybe Chris has different. But the calls that I usually get about this are when they put it away in storage and you're not going to be there for 6 months, something like that, where they know that there aren't going to be people around. So they go into those kind of places, and it's a lot easier to get into the units that they know are keyed generically so that they can get in without making a whole lot of noise. And it's very easy to get in and out really quick.
I want to say this story, and I hate to spread these rumors too much, but just so people realize how dangerous it can be. A lot of you folks have a compartment that opens up, and underneath of that compartment, it goes into your bed in your bedroom that lifts up on a gas spring. I've had multiple dealerships tell me about people who climb the fence, use their 751 key to open that compartment up, put a kid or a skinny person in that compartment, and they pop the bed up. They walk into your RV. Now they're in your RV without breaking in. They've unlocked the door and they've walked in. They unlock the front door and walk out with whatever they want there. So the security is really, really important from that standpoint of knowing what's there and what's out there. But I agree with David. A lot of our break-ins are used where people leave them on lakefronts and they go home for the week and they're going to come back every weekend, or in storage lots. A lot of storage lots have that issue with the break-ins.
You know, that crawling in the compartment and opening the inside, I've done that. Only I was much younger and much smaller then, but my parents had like a 65 or a late 50s Red Dale canned ham trailer, and my father would invariably bump the lock on the door, slam the door, and we couldn't unlock it. So we'd open the side compartment and back, typical layout with the rear bed, and one of us would crawl in the compartment, flop the storage door down inside, go inside and unlock it that way. And that happened more than once, I believe, if I remember right.
Then I brought back a fond memory, right, Jeff?
Yes. Yeah. And I was on a a television gig a while back where I was kind of one of the people helping to manage the RV trailers they had come in for the crew and some of the cast. And the dealers delivered all the trailers to a spot, and we were going to move them to the base camp. But they neglected to leave the keys with anybody. So there are all these locked trailers out there, and the people were trying to figure out where they were. I said, well, first of all, look in the heater compartment, where you keep the keys sometimes. And some of them didn't have it. And one of them they were working on. And I walked around back. It's a toy hauler. So I unlocked the door, flopped the door down, walked in. They're working on the door, and I unlocked it and opened it. I said, come on in, guys. Not a problem. And so I think that was a few years ago, maybe before they figured out they better put locks on the ramp door as well.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And ramp doors are more and more often becoming locked. Some of them still have the padlock hasps on them, but most of them are still going bar locks now, which is nice. But like I say, a thief, most of the people who break in for a living are very wise. They know about master keys. They know about generic
They know what
keys.
they're doing.
They probably have this same key ring in their pocket, so they can get into just about anything if they really want to, other than the non-mastered cylinders. And they know the little tricks as to what door opens what place and how to get in and how to get around. And they look for those units. So if you happen to have those vulnerable areas, those are the ones you really want to make sure you secure.
Yeah. Okay. And what, because you primarily work through dealers and such, I realize that retail pricing is all over the map from place to place. But if you're looking at an RV with a half a dozen compartment doors and the usual external shower door and so on, and the entry door, what is somebody looking at approximately, without holding anybody's feet to the fire? What's the approximate cost on all of that?
If it's just a cam lock that we're matching, those run about $12 to $15 a piece, just a 751 cam lock, and that goes for a shower door or a compartment door. If they have a slam lock, which is the black locks that you pull with your hand, those run about anywhere between $38 and $45 to replace the entire lock. If they're just replacing cylinders on a global lock, those run $12 a piece. The cylinders do.
That's cheap.
That's a little bit of money for good security.
Well, considering the cost.
Usually, just about most of the, like a fifth wheel will have, and I'm going to throw a name out, and I apologize if I offend anybody, but like on a Grand Design, which we do a lot of, on a Grand Design fifth wheel, there's normally 4 slam locks and 2 a shower door and a cam lock that we replace to match their entry door. So based on that, we're replacing those slam locks at $45 a piece. So I just about any of them that I've done, we could do for under $500 easy. And if it's cam locks, you could usually do it for under $200 easy.
Very good. Yeah, Marie's going, wow, not bad.
That's great.
Considering the cost of the rest of the RV, $12 a piece for the locks that probably mechanically work better than the original equipment. I mean,
they are better quality.
Some of those OEM 751s. I mean, some of the 751 locks take a lot of jiggling and fussing with them, even when they're brand new, to get them to work.
Yeah. And like I say, we have a pretty good quality. It's still a generic keyed lock, but we have really good quality. All of our cam locks are stainless steel, so they're going to hold up for the weather. They're going to weather well. And then of course the cylinders are our typical global cylinders that we use in entry door locks. So it makes your cam lock as secure as your entry door lock, as far as the lock portion of it. Okay.
Yep. I guess Elizabeth, she has a mix of cylinders, slam locks. I guess most people do, right? Unless you have a key lock system, you start off this way.
Right.
Now
a lot of times.
I only have one compartment in my Grand Design travel trailer, one compartment.
Right.
And I've got the little silver keys. So I've got 2, one on each side. But in that compartment is a very expensive converter. There's stuff in that one converter, that compartment I wouldn't want. So we'll talk.
Exactly. And like I say, you're talking with 2 cam locks, you're talking $25, and we can match it to a purple key if you have a purple key on your entry door.
Yeah.
And And a lot of times on those, if you're not quite sure what you have or what will replace it, people oftentimes will give us a call, and if we can't figure it out over the phone, we have them just send pictures to us, and we can usually identify what they are, and if we have something that will replace it, and if we do, then we'll recommend what we think would be fit best for them and how to get it accomplished.
So very cost-effective products, and you get to talk to a human being if you want.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
Yeah, we don't have much voicemail. The only voicemail we have is to promise that we're calling you back.
very good. Yeah, David / Corey. Oh yeah, there's your phone number.
There's our phone number.
400-9849. Very good.
And then I see Marie's next question, and that's the if it's just the cylinders in the locks, these are all for Global Link. They're all the same. The only things you would have to actually measure if you're replacing an actual cam lock.
Okay. All right.
All of our cylinders are the exact same size. So it doesn't matter if you've got an 1.5 inch cam lock, it takes the exact same cylinder that a 7/8 inch cam lock takes. We just need to know the length of the lock if we're replacing the entire lock.
And you also offer free shipping if the order is over $100.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not something we really advertise on the website, so it's a kind of a little extra bonus at the end.
Well, everybody knows now.
And we do ship to Canada. We have a really good dealer and distributor network up in Canada, which saves money because of shipping. But we do ship to Canada if we have any Canadian listeners on tonight. And we have a couple of different options. We can either go through the postal system or we can go through DHL if they want something a little quicker. But we can always take care of that. The Canadians usually have to deal with the duties and the general taxes, unfortunately, but they're aware of that.
Now here's Elizabeth. The dealership told me I don't need to worry about the slam locks, and my vehicle can pull that big RV. I'm thinking all needs replacing.
And Elizabeth, that's where a lot of dealers will tell you the slam lock, I'm sure, is very secure. The lock itself is very secure. The question is, what is it keyed to? And if we were on the phone right now, I'd ask you to just look at your key and tell me what the number on the key is, and then we could judge just how secure it is. I'm going to guess it's either a R001, a G391, or a 751, which are all generic
CK330.
keys. Or a CK330, which means all those are all 4 generic keys, and every good thief has that key on his ring.
Yeah, so the slam locks are functionally they're a very secure mechanical lock as far as holding the door shut and etc. But it's just a matter of the keying that's the part. Yeah.
Yep, agreed. Yes,
Okay.
It's the keying part. What keys do they have?
All right. What other points have we not brought out, David and Chris, that we want to make sure gets out there?
Well, we covered just about everything, I believe.
Okay.
One I would like to mention, David. Do you have a Nova latch in your samples there, or
You're talking about the
can I
current
swing
one
around?
or the?
Either one. I just want to, because we keep
I have
talking
the new
about
one
you got to have a. Okay, we mentioned oftentimes you have to have a global lock to key it alike, but there's another lock out there made by Challenger Door called a Nova latch, and we actually key those for Nova. They're made of plastic. It's a plastic slam latch, but that one also can be keyed with a global cylinder without changing the lock.
Right. This one right now is keyed to G391.
How long does it take if somebody has a broken key for them to get it replaced?
If it's ordered today before midnight tonight on RV Locks and More, that key will ship out tomorrow. And it just depends on how long their shipping takes.
Okay.
Yeah, our
It just
turnaround
depends on
time
how
is
long
usually
their
24
shipping
hours.
takes.
Yeah, 1 business day.
And
Or
a lot
if you
of
have a
dealerships,
dealership.
if anyone's looking for keys, we always recommend if you've got an RV dealership close by, call them first and give them a shot at it.
It's always good to support local.
Oh yeah.
Good. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see.
Another question, maybe it's been brought up and we missed it. What is the warranty on your automatic latches and such?
The state of warranty is 1 year from date of purchase, but we've never not fixed one. If someone
No.
called and had
Yeah.
a difficulty with it, we've just replaced it.
We stand by our product.
So
Cool.
the stated is 1 year, but unless you're just really brutal on it, we're going to take care of you.
Hey, Terry Gillis. Hey, sorry, lost connection. Can you clarify if can be used on miter homes?
I think he meant motor homes, and it cannot on the compartment doors. We can do the compartment doors on motor homes, but we do not yet have the motor home entry door locks available. They're coming.
Yeah.
They're just now being started to be used on the OEMs, but
Yeah.
it's not out to the public yet.
And the reason for that is that federal regulations require different kinds of locks on motorhomes.
Yeah, the
Correct.
DOT regulate. Right.
Our automotive. law.
DOT. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Great.
And even
Wow.
on those, if you have one that you'd like to replace, I think we're kind of looking. If you get a replacement for for one of those motorhome locks, you'd actually have to go to a registered dealership to actually have that done. Somebody that's certified.
Uh-huh. Do you recommend putting magnets over the locks to prevent bugs, etc., for ease of use?
Oh, you mean from like
Actually,
entering
all of
into
our
the
locks come
cylinders?
with
Mm.
Yeah.
all of our cylinders have a really an automotive grade dust cap on them.
Mm-hmm.
So each one of ours is spring loaded, so nothing can get into it as long as the key's
Yeah.
not in it.
Okay.
Well, and I'll point out that even on ours, I don't know if you can see that very well. Like ours is a trap door system. So when you put your key into that, there's a spring that pushes that back out when the key is removed. A lot of those are shutter systems where when you put the key in, it just slides it over. And it's a lot easier for debris and things like that to get trapped between. And then when that slides over, it kind of just gets stuck. So with ours being a trap door, it's a lot easier to pop back out where it needs to go.
Excellent. That was a good question then.
As long as you keep it lubricated, I'm not aware of very many bugs who want to live in a home that's lined by lithium grease.
Great question.
Oh, so Rose is it's all been very informative, keeping this info in case we ever need to replace a key or locks.
We'd definitely be happy to help you out with that.
All right.
Awesome.
We have 3 more minutes.
Awesome.
Oh my.
3 more minutes. Isn't that amazing? And Joe, I hope you're there in the background trying to figure out what the number is of the winner. That we'll announce in just a couple more minutes. All right. Any other points or questions we can answer right now?
Great.
I think you guys are pretty well.
I think we've covered it well.
Yes.
Now, the one thing that
So,
I was wondering, your automatic locks that what's the average battery lifespan on those? How often do you have to replace that? And is it complicated to replace the batteries?
The batteries to replace them is just on the inside here. It's just this one screw you pop out, and then this back cover removes. And Chris, do you have one of those batteries? I don't seem to have one.
Oh, is it
Like a
They're
double
lithium
A's or something?
batteries, so it's a C123 lithium battery, so they're very easy to find. And being a lithium battery, you usually get here he is. Looks like Chris popped out. It looks like that. So it looks like a little double A, but it's a little bit shorter and a little bit squattier. But having this on mine, I would recommend taking it out in the winter if you're not using it. Being a lithium battery, I think it's supposed to withstand that a little bit better. But on my personal camper, I left it in and had to. I used it all summer long, and then at the start of the next summer, I had to replace it. So I don't know if that was due to that or if I just got a battery that had been used a little bit more. I know we went camping a ton last year, so that could have been it too.
Generally speaking, annual replacement would be about right.
I would probably, yeah.
That's what people expect
right.
for smoke detectors and that sort of thing anyway.
And we would always recommend keeping one of your keys maybe in like the glove box or on a key ring or something, just so that if the battery does ever fail, then you have manually that will override it at any time.
Yeah, cool.
All right, guys. Well, it is time, and I know who the winner is. Do the keys. All right. Before I tell you the winner, let me show you this question. Do the keyless entry go to sleep and you need to tap before using?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. So right now it is dormant. So just to save battery life, you just hit any key on it, it lights up, and now it's active, and now you put the code in.
And,
So, yes.
oh yeah, okay, great, great. Well, this is gonna seem fixed, but the winner is Elizabeth Fleming Stafford. Elizabeth, I hope you have a travel trailer and not a motorhome. Let's get over that hurdle first. Elizabeth, acknowledge you won.
Still there?
I hope so.
She was. She commented a minute ago. So
Yeah, she's got to be there. All right, let me just get. Where are you, Chris? I saw you can't.
is he
No,
back?
I think we lost Chris. He had a bad connection, and we lost, but he's trying to come back. There he is. All right, let's bring him up too. Oh, there you go. She's got a fifth wheel. Whee! That's a towable.
Awesome.
Congratulations, Elizabeth. Now, we need to get your information. So,
Don't
David,
disappear.
Chris, how shall she connect with you? David, how do you want Elizabeth to connect with you? You want an email or?
Email or a phone number. Yeah, whatever works best.
All right, and we've got
We'll
the
do
phone
either.
number up here. What would the email be?
Our email.
Yeah.
You could send it to info, info,
Yeah.
at CPG, like Charlie Papa Golf or Creative Products Group, brands, brands.com. There you go. Corey just put it in the comments right there.
All right, good. Well, congratulations, Elizabeth. We are at the 7:01 mark. Thank you, David, Chris.
Thank you, everyone.
So much. That was so much fun. And everybody on here agrees. We learned a lot.
Well,
Thanks,
thank you very much for
everyone.
inviting us
Purple
on.
keys, go.
That was awesome.
It's a part of the RV industry that really needs to be upgraded, and we're glad to see someone like you guys are taking that on.
Well, thanks,
doing
Jeff.
what we
We
can.
appreciate it. We're here for everyone. Feel free to contact us.
Thanks
you.
for all the questions.
And this recording will be on our website along with all the other Inside Access recordings. So if you want to listen to it again, it'll be up there tomorrow. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good
Bye,
night,
everyone.
Good night.